Welcome to the Life Makeovers podcast. My name is Cindy D. Whitmer, and I am the Midlife Makeover Coach, helping you turn your midlife into your best life, one step at a time. Through powerful conversations, my own midlife roller coaster story, and over 3 decades of helping people transform their lives through counseling and coaching, I am on a mission to help you create your own definition of success and happiness. Thank you for being here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Life Makeovers podcast. I'm so grateful that you are here. And today I'm going to put you through sort of an activity. And so I recommend that you listen to this when you can sit down and take notes, write in your journal, or be in more reflection than maybe you typically are when you're listening to a podcast. I know some of you like to get your exercising done while you're listening to podcasts, or maybe you do some housework, or maybe it's while you're driving, commuting to work, and so forth. And that's all fine. You can listen to it that way, of course. But I'm also going to be, taking you through a little journey, a little year-end activity that I think might best be experienced just sitting down and really focusing on yourself and your life and maybe taking some notes and so forth. But as always, you can come back and watch or listen to this or watch this if you're watching it on YouTube as many times as you'd like to capture the experience at another time as well. So just a little prelude there and suggestion. So this is it. We have a couple weeks left in this calendar year, and it is just amazing to me that this year has just flown by in so many ways. And one of the things that I like to do at the end of every year is go into a time of reflection and renewal, and then sort of looking in ahead to the next year. And in terms of, reviewing and reflecting, I like to look at all areas of my life and look back over the year that I've just lived and really be honest about, what I'm pleased about, what I am not feeling as good about as I'd like to, what I want to celebrate again, what I'm still working through, changes I'm attempting to make that feel really important, or ones that I realize through this reflection I want to make now, and just all kinds of things. I like to live really intentionally and consciously, and I like to encourage all of my clients to do that as well. And so I wanted to offer this up to you, podcast listeners, for your own opportunity to do that with the support and guidance of a coach. So many times when we come to the end of a year, we really don't realize all the successes or significant events that we have experienced in the year that we are finishing up. And so this activity is really meant to help you reflect objectively on the past calendar year and summarize your best times, your most challenging times, and then get you set up to move forward into the new year with greater clarity. So in each area I am about to mention, I want you to think about what progress or joys or wins you've had this year, okay? In every one of these subjects I am about to identify, okay? So first, your habits. What progress, joys, or wins did you have this year in the area of your habits? So in other words, were there habits that you dropped that you didn't like? Maybe you stopped smoking this year. Or was there a habit you added that has really pleased you? Like maybe you've started exercising 3 times a week or something like that. So think about your habits. You may want to write these categories down and go back and reflect on them more carefully later. Okay, what progress, joys, or wins did you have this year in your health life, the life your life of health, mental health, physical health, your own fitness, whatever, however you categorize this. Maybe you, um, developed high blood pressure and you got that blood pressure back down where it needs to be. Maybe you lost weight you wanted to lose. Maybe you joined a gym and attend class every week. So think again about, your progress, your joys, or your wins in the area of health and fitness. Third category is financial, your finances. Perhaps you opened up a new 401k and you feel really good about that. Or maybe you've added to your savings account, or maybe you got a promotion and raise at work that you feel really good about. Maybe you've uh, learned how to cut some expenses out of your budget that weren't necessary anymore. So, what progress, joys, or wins did you have this year? Maybe you inherited a bunch of money. Maybe you won the lottery. Okay, and then next category is your professional life. Now, let's use that term loosely because I know we all have different focuses. Like, I'm a business owner. You might be someone who works for a corporation. You may be raising kids or grandkids. You might be 100% a full-time homemaker. You may be caregiving for your parents. You might be a volunteer in an organization. That be the primary focus of your daily life. Whatever you categorize, or maybe you're a student, whatever category you put yourself in, or that means your professional life, let's think about your progress, joys, and wins in that area this year. So perhaps you have retired, or maybe you got the big project and it was a real win for you. Maybe you have built a business for the first time or started a business for the first time. Maybe you graduated with a new degree or certification of some sort. Maybe you launched kids into adulthood. Who knows? Whatever your joys, wins, and progress were, I want you to definitely take note of those. Next category is your relationships. Maybe you got married this year. Maybe you resolved a long-term conflict with a friend this year. Maybe you learned how to set stronger boundaries with some of your family members. Maybe you found a fabulous business partner and are thriving in that relationship in your professional life. Okay, what about events attended? Think about some, progress, joys, or wins this year. What were some special events you attended? Maybe you went to a concert or a play that you've always wanted to see. Maybe there was a special wedding in your family this year. Maybe there was graduations. Maybe there was the birth of a new grandchild. Anything, but just think about some of those significant events that really brought you joy, or felt like a win this year. Maybe you were given an award for your contribution in some organization. Next category, letting go. What are your progress, wins, and joys in the area of letting go? Maybe you finally decluttered your attic. Maybe you walked away from a business deal that no longer aligned for you. Maybe you, let go of some unneeded services in your life, or things you felt like were wasteful for you. Maybe you let go of your love for sugar. Maybe it could be so many things. Maybe you let go of some beliefs that were keeping you stuck. Just think about what you let go of that has really, really helped you or felt good this year. Next category, new additions to your life. What has brought you joy that's a new addition to your life? Now, maybe some of these fit in more than one of these categories, but a new addition to your life might be a new pet, or maybe you've learned a new skill set of some sort that's been amazing for you. Maybe you've adopted a new religious orientation. Maybe you have a new love. Maybe, who knows, but new additions to your life. Maybe you got a new car that you're so excited about, or moved to a new home or new community, got a new job, whatever. Okay, next category, personal development. Personal development. Now, this is you really growing as an individual, really evolving as a person. So, what could be a win or a joy or progress in that area? Well, perhaps you've become more patient this year. Or maybe you've learned how to communicate more effectively in your relationships. Or maybe you feel more disciplined about an area of study that's important to you. So think about ways that you have developed as a person that feel like a progress, joy, or win. And then your legacy or contribution to your community or to your world. So where have you made an impact this year that you feel has been a real win or a joy for you? Now, this again could be some volunteering you're doing in some way, or maybe you are donated money to help some organization. I know one of my clients went and did a week of service with Samaritan's Purse for hurricane relief. So what a great, contribution that was. Shout out to you. You know who you are. Maybe created a memory book for your grandchildren. Maybe who knows? Maybe you got all your will and trust legal things set in place. And that feels like a good legacy or way to really contribute to your family, even after your physical life is over. And then think of any other areas that maybe I haven't touched on and what progress, joys, or wins you've had this year. Now, I know that's a long list, but I want it to represent, all of life really, really well. And this feels so good. So now let's talk about endings you've experienced. Make a list of all the endings you've experienced this year. So this could be deaths of people you love. This could be any kind of change or loss or grief, such as moving or job shifts, retirement. Maybe you got a divorce. Maybe you got a health diagnosis. Just life as you know it changing, and because of an ending of some sort. Maybe the kids all, you launched your last child into adulthood and you now are an empty nester with no children living at home anymore with you as a parent, with that daily, day in, day out parenting. So think about that list of endings you've experienced this year. This could be a very long list or a very short list. Who knows? Depends on your life. And ask yourself these questions. What did I learn from each ending? What did I learn from each ending? And number two, how did I grow from each ending? How did I grow from each ending? And number three, what can I take from each of these experiences? Okay, so this is reflecting again on some way that your life presented an ending with you. And now let's talk about, and I know I'm not giving you enough time to think about and write all these things down. I'm just hoping you're jotting down the questions, hoping you're jotting down quick thoughts that you can reflect on later. So, and then we want to look at all the beginnings you experienced, new chapters you begun, new people in your life, new experiences, new opportunities, second chances, fresh starts, anything like that you would categorize as a beginning. So it might be a new job, it might be a new relationship, it might be an organization you joined, it might be a routine you've incorporated into your life that's new. Maybe you're a grandparent for the first time. Maybe you're a business owner for the first time. Maybe, there could be so many different things. So with all of your beginnings, what did you learn from each? Again, these are the same three questions as I asked you about your endings. What did you learn from each new beginning? How did you grow from each beginning? And what can you take from each of these experiences? Okay. All right. Remember that endings equal changes, right? Endings equal changes and beginnings equal chances. Okay, I love that. Endings equal changes, beginnings equal chances. There's only one letter difference in those two words, but both can help us learn and grow, whether we wanted them, planned on them, or not. Okay, so endings equals changes, beginnings equals chances. So let's go back to our list, our original list of categories again, and ask this question. In the coming year, okay, so the year coming, what hopes, dreams, or changes would you like to make in each area? Okay, so it's going to be the same list as the one we started with, but instead the question is, in the coming year, what hopes, dreams, or changes would you like to make in each area? And here are those areas again for you to jot down. Habits to start, stop, and to start. Health or fitness. Finances, your professional life. And remember, we talked about that being a career, a business, homemaking, caregiving, volunteerism, whatever you label as your professional life. Your relationships, personal and professional relationships, right? Events to attend. Okay, so what events are you hoping to attend or planning on attending this year that are very special, significant to you? Letting go. Letting go. What do you know you need to let go of this coming year? New additions to your life. Anything new you're hoping for, planning for? Personal development. And then your legacy slash contribution to your community slash world. And then any other areas that you can think of. So again, in the coming year, what hopes, dreams, or changes would you like to make in each of those areas? So please give yourself the opportunity to think through these things, reflecting on this year in all of those areas, reflecting on the joys, the progresses, the wins, thinking about the endings you've gone through, the beginnings you've experienced, and then what hopes, dreams, or changes you want to make in each area based on your reflections from this year. As we reflect, if you reflect honestly about this whole year, you will find areas where you go, wow, I'm not really happy about how that went. So I know I want to make some changes in that area in the next year, and start to find the words for that. Okay. Put that in specific wording for yourself. For example, if you developed high cholesterol this year, and that feels like, an area that concerns you, then one of your hopes, dreams, or changes you want to make in your area of health is to get your cholesterol down to an acceptable level. And so that's just one example. Maybe I know one for me for sure is financially, I want to feel more secure in this next year. And so one of the changes I'm going to make is I'm going to focus on saving more money. That is something that I just feel is really important for me at this point in my life. And I'm excited to dive into that in different ways. And so that's a change that I want to make based on how I feel about how 2024 went. So that's what I'm talking about is, and then also, patting yourself on the back for things that you feel really good about, especially habits that you stopped that were destructive for you and habits that you started that are healthy for you. Really want you to pause and celebrate that as you're reflecting on this year, because that is you growing, that is you moving forward, that is you making conscious, intentional choices to have a happier, healthier, more meaningful life, which is what I'm wishing for all of you. Many of you have fears around the future, whether it's financial fears or aging fears or, all kinds of things, or fear of losing people or worries about this or that or the other. And we can really get stuck in fear, and that is no way to really live. And fear is one of the worst things for and stress for aging. And so if you're someone out there midlife who says, "Oh, I'm scared to age, I'm scared to age," you're aging yourself just by being scared about aging. And so one of the changes you might want to work on is having a different approach to the idea of aging and developing different beliefs and attitudes around aging. And that will help you feel better for sure. So think about, as you've thought about these changes and hopes and dreams you have for the next year, what's one step you can take in the first 30 days of the year to move forward in each of the areas you indicated. Just one step toward each of those areas you indicated that you wish to make changes. One step. Remember, we cannot get what we want until we are clear about what that actually is. So, acknowledging your wins and your true joys from the year, as well as reflecting on your transitional experiences and what you learned from them, can help you with that clarity and set the stage for a strong start for the coming year. So, it takes some thought, it takes some time, it takes some emotional energy, but I promise you, going through this year end review activity can be very powerful in helping you set the stage to feel really good as you move into 2025. And if you're someone who rejects the idea of, setting a goal or setting resolutions, because let's face it, the research is not great about the success rate of people who set resolutions and goals is not great. As a matter of fact, I can't remember the exact number, but it is a high percentage of people that by March 1st can't even tell you what their New Year's resolutions and goals were. And I know I've had years like that too. So I like to approach it in a more general sense and look things over and language it a little differently so it doesn't have to be, set in that language if that is kind of repelling to you, but instead just looking at, oh gosh, these are some intentions I want to set for the year. These are some changes I intend to make this year. And what's one thing I can do just to get started, because it's the getting started that's usually the trickiest piece. So and on that note, I am taking new clients for the beginning of the year. So if you are interested in coaching, whether you'd like group support where you're with other people who are working on their intentions consciously for the year, or whether you'd like a private coaching experience, either way, I am happy to have a conversation with you about that. So please go to timewithcindy.com and look for times in January, because there are none left for the month of December. But you must have a conversation with me to get signed up for private coaching at least. And then another option is to go to my free masterclass sometime in these next 2 weeks. It is available, called How to Love Yourself Fully and Live on Your Terms in Midlife Without Guilt. It's an hour-long class, and I walk you through some mistakes to avoid in midlife and a path to really begin to move forward in your life in the areas you would like to. So I really hope you will take advantage of that tool and go register for that class. All this will be in the show notes, but it's at cindydwhitmer.com/love yourself. Okay. So the free masterclass again is cindydwhitmer.com/love yourself. That's free to register for and attend. And at the end of that hour-long class, there is an offer to join my coaching group and get my whole digital course and all kinds of things for an astronomically low price. So if you have any interest in diving deeper through either an online coaching course and some group coaching support, definitely watch that class to the end and at least listen to the offer there, because it's really, really good. And I don't know how long I'm going to keep it up that way, but it's really, really good. I'd love to see you succeed and get started, a strong start in the first quarter of the year. So, and then the other option, if you want to go a deeper dive with private coaching, set up a time to talk to me about it, timewithcindy.com. There's no obligation to sign up, but rather we'll have a conversation, see what you need, see if I can help, and we'll get you started if you wish to do that. So lots of options for you there. If that was an overwhelming amount of stuff to listen to, don't worry, it's all in the show notes. And let me just say, this is episode 206 of the Life Makeovers podcast. I've been doing it 2 years straight without a break. And so to support my own period of reflection and review and discernment and renewal, I'm going to take a few weeks off from doing the podcast, and will likely be back doing episodes weekly in early January 2025. So if you've subscribed and you follow, you will receive notice when that starts up again. So do not despair. I will be back, and I wish you all a glorious end to this year and a wonderful start to the new year. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Life Makeovers podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share this podcast with those that you think would also benefit from what we're doing here. And I will talk to you again soon.